Wakanda forever! Ha! Good day, peace, love and light to you all, family. Welcome to another YouTube video with me, your host, Mathix Mhlangu. Wow, man. I am just taken aback. I'm so happy. My soul is full. Because on my Twitter, I get people who tweet or DM me thanking me for the information that I drop. On my YouTube, there's always people commenting and leave such beautiful comments. On my podcast, I haven't done a podcast in a while, but I'm gonna come back to those. So I'm completely taken aback, and I'm so happy that you guys feel that I'm contributing to your journey as divine souls, which brings me to the fact that, or to the point that I want you to know that everything that I say to you, you know it as well. I got the feather today. It's just symbolic of height, spiritual flight. Because I got that sight, I got that insight. Okay, I'm not gonna go into a whole freestyle because I could go for hours when it comes to that. But I want to thank you all for supporting and following me, because what you are actually doing is following yourself. There's nothing that I say on my channel that you don't have the ability to know or the capability to know, because all of this information is in your DNA. It's just that certain systems have been placed in place over time to keep you from discovering this knowledge that is within you. It is in your DNA. Nothing is special about me. Everything that I know, you know. Everything that I do, you do. Everything that I can do, you can do. Jesus said this when he says that great things I have done, but greater things ye shall do. So the only difference between me and you, or some of you, is that maybe you may not have done the research or invested the time into the meditations and into the seeking of the knowledge of who you truly are. So that's the only difference. But otherwise, me and you are the same. We are all products of the same source or the same intelligence. So now on today's episode, we're going to be decoding the movie The Black Panther. I almost did this. I don't know why I want to show you my notes like you're going to read what is written here. So we're going to be decoding the movie The Black Panther. And we're going to get straight into it. Don't forget to like and to subscribe to the channel and to click on the notification button. And I also just want to send out a special thank you to 2 followers of mine who supported me. My word, very on an amazing scale. They made a very huge contribution. I'd like to say thank you to Mapefo, and also like to say thank you to Busisi or Jane Mhlangu, man, for donating and supporting the boy. Excuse me. Yeah, it really means a lot. As I said before, that you don't have to send me money. The particular bank details that I leave, it's just if you feel it, if you feel out of the goodness of your heart, hey, let me send this guy something, it's not a force. You don't have to tithe to me. It's your information. You don't have to give me 10% of your salary. No, I want you to give me 10% of your attention, just like how you have to tithe. That's what tithing is. When they're talking about tithing in the Bible, the reason they say that you give 10% is because your conscious mind makes up 10% of the whole mind, and the subconscious is 90%. So 90% of your consciousness is doing things that you are unaware of, like making your heart beat and making you breathe and making your skin heal itself when you get bruised. And then the 10% is what you are responsible for. That's why you have to tithe 10% in church. All of this is symbolic, and I'm here to give you back your own information because you deserve it, and it's been missing from you for a very long time. So now we're going to get straight into the movie The Black Panther. So now, when we get into the movie The Black Panther, what I want you to understand when we decode movies is that the movies are based on one particular principle. They are based on a structure that is similar, and this structure is called the hero's journey. Now, in every movie that you see, there's the call to adventure, and then the hero has to accept or deny. And all of this pertains to you. He has to accept or deny. She has to accept or deny the call. If the hero accepts the call, then he goes through a cycle which leads him through a series of steps that will bring him into challenges, meeting guides, meeting uh, adversaries, and then finally coming out with the gift at the end. So now we're gonna get into it when it comes to Black Panther. So now the movie of Black Panther begins. I wrote some notes here, which is what I said that you should do when you watch movies, is write notes. So this movie is very dualistic. It's dual. You need two eyes to see it, because in one part it's telling you the truth, and at another part it's still kind of programming you. So you need to look at it with the spiritual eye. So now the movie begins. It begins with a story, and same time that lets you know what or who the movie is talking about, because which race of people in the history of the world passed down higher sciences of astronomy, astrology, mathematics, geometry through stories? Black people. They personified the highest of science into stories so that even little children can understand. So immediately when the child says, Papa, please tell me a story, that lets you know who this movie or what the movie is based on. It's based on black people, because that's how they passed on stories through folklore. When I was a kid, when we grew up, I'm Ndebele, I'm from the Ndebele tribe, and they showed the Ndebele tribe the colors and the paintings of the Ndebele people within Black Panther. I like that. So when I grew up, my grandmother used to tell us stories, and my aunties, and it would be so beautiful. I used to love that. And those actually speak to your soul. They speak to your subconscious mind. So now immediately they let you know who the story is talking about. So now this story is similar to what I spoke about in my African spirituality video about Mufasa and Simba in the Lion King movie, where basically all these movies, if you look at them, where are they taking place? In Africa, on this particular continent, because there's something special about this continent that you or the whole world must know, and the whole world knows. It's in classes. They say all life began from Africa, but they make it seem, they make it seem like evolution from Charles Darwin. But when they say it began, they make it seem like some primitive things. And it was actually, life began in Africa from a higher intelligence. And then as it started to spread out into the different four corners of the world, the intelligence was lowering in consciousness. Now, we get to that part when we see the first part of the movie, where the father is telling the son that there was a meteorite that hit the earth, or that came to the earth. And immediately that lets you know that you were dealing with extra, my word, my palate, the top, when I talk to my girl, I call it the top of the roof of my mouth. This part, it's itchy there. Ooh, excuse me. I call it, I learned not long ago, I think it's been a year since I've been using the word palate. Yeah, my palate is very itchy. It's cool. I used to call it the top of the roof of mouth. The top of the roof of my mouth. So anyway, the movie begins with the meteorite. So immediately that lets you know that you were dealing with what? With extraterrestrial information, influence, or something that is outside of the earth. Because when you listen to the great Sanusis who have passed, to the great teachers, to the great beings that have walked this very same planet, I'll give you an example of my personal favorite, which is Ubapu Kredumuta. He talks about the fact that there was a race of beings that came here on Merkabahs, what they call the Merkabah. In the Bible, they speak about it as they speak about it in the book of Ezekiel. They say Ezekiel went up in a body, or in a what do they call it? A ship of wheels, something like that. They were referring to the Merkabah, because when you become enlightened, you can actually turn your body into a spaceship in order to travel and traverse through time and space. You can actually move through the universe. That's what you actually do in your dreams. You are moving through consciousness. You don't need your body to travel. So immediately the movie lets you know that we are dealing with extraterrestrial or outside influence, because you yourself are an outside influence to this earth. So boom, right there lets you know spiritual made flesh. So now We get there, and then the father says that to the son. He says that, okay, so this thing, this intelligence that came, it could be any number of things. It could be the Merkaba, it could be ether, and it could also be melanin, which it is. It's all these things because it's multidimensional. So he says to the son, he's like, yeah, so when this particular meteorite fell to the earth, it influenced everything, animal life, plants life, and when the time for humanity came through, it even influenced them, and there was constant conflict among humanity. And then they came this particular tribe, or this particular seer rather, or shaman, or this particular being that was able to unite the particular tribes. Now these tribes, don't look at all these things as external. Most of these things are internal. As I said, it's mythological. It's stories made flesh, or stories personified in symbols, to teach you a deeper understanding of something profound and just made easier for you to understand. So now, when the father says that when Wakanda was starting to thrive, or when Wakanda was thriving, the rest of the world went into a state of war and decay. What they are basically referring to there is the times that Africans had to map out the stars, because understand that there's what we call the precession of the equinox, which lasts about 24,000 years. The sun lasting in each sign for 2,000 years. So the sun would move in two ways. It moves along, or the earth moves along these signs in what you call your 12 months, and then the sun moves along these signs in a greater cycle of 24,000 years. So we just came from the age of Pisces, which is the age of religion and laws, and then we are moving into the age of Aquarius, when the disciples of Jesus said to Jesus, says, hey, Rabbi being teacher, like, how will you know that the end times are here? And Jesus said that when I will be with you until the end of the age. That's what he said to them. He said, hey, I will be with you until the end of the age, and you'll see a picture of a man bearing a cup of water, or a jar of water, which represents the age of Aquarius. So this lets you know about the different cycles. So now the Africans are the Wakandians, in the sense that when the rest of the world was at war, Africans were building pyramids. Africans were mapping out the stars. And in fact, there was a time, there's a book called When the World Was Black. The whole world. There was once upon a time when the whole world was black. There were black people all over the world. So people in America, it's not that white people came to Africa and stole and kidnapped black people. There were already black people in the Americas. There were already black people in India, in Australia, in Asia, we were all over the place. You were all over the place. Excuse me. You were the firstborns of this. So there came a time that while you were doing all of this, because understand that you need a lot of time to study the stars, because it takes 24,000 years. Like I said, the sun lasts 2,000 years in each sign, and there's 12 signs. So for the sun to go through each sign of 2,000 years, with all 12 signs, that's 24,000 years, which is what they call the great year. So now that scene is very important, and that's why I'm taking a lot of time on it, for you to understand what is going on. Because right here we can end this video. It can give you an understanding of why was Africa, or why are all these great things in Africa, or why is Africa the place with the greatest resources, minerals. It's because the consciousness within itself was focused in Africa. So now let's continue on. I don't have a lot of time to do this. I wish I had like 3 hours to do these videos, but then let's continue on. So let me see what I wrote here. The next important scene I want you to take note of is, after the whole story, is the fact that is where they show the scene of Killmonger at the museum, at the African exhibit place. And in that scene, Killmonger is saying to this white lady, he's like, what is this? And she's like, it's this object. They took it from here. And then he asks again, what is this one? And then she tells him. And then he asks the last one. He's like, what is this? And then she says it. He's like, nah. And then the lady's like, excuse me? He's like, nah. I don't know what it is. It was taken by Irish or British soldiers, one of the two, and she's like, oh, okay. And he's like, it's from Wakanda and it's made out of vibranium. And she's like, damn. He's like, nah, but don't worry, I'll take it off your hands for you. And the white lady says that, nah, sir, these aren't for sale. And Killmonger says that, uh, how do you think your people got this? Immediately, right there, guys, I want you to understand something, that in movies, the villain is made to look like the villain because sometimes the villain has more truth than who you think the hero is. The villain might portray or say more truth because Killmonger and Chitala, or the Black Panther, they were like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. They were both striving for the same thing, but in different ways. One, Killmonger was like Malcolm X. He's like, no, we gotta shoot. Oh, no, we gotta take over. And then the other one, he's like, no, we gotta do it in a peaceful way. We gotta, like like Martin Luther King's like, we gotta be peaceful. And Malcolm X is like, yo, we gotta get guns, man. Not that saying that he was the bad guy, but he's like, yo, you gotta learn how to think like your conqueror, or as they say in the movie, colonizer, because African people were not a people that were focused on war so much. As I said, Ubabu Credo Mutwa is a very great person to follow and look at his work. He will open up your mind in very different dimensions. He says that black people, when you look at the language of isiZulu, what they call war, we call it impi. And another word, when you say something is ugly, you say yimbi. So impi being war and yimbi, which being something that is ugly, is relating to the same thing. That shows you that within the language within itself, that black people they did not associate war with something that was beautiful. That's why they called it impi, because it was something that was ugly. It was not necessary. You see what I'm saying? So now, it has never been a thing that we were for, like, let's fight, let's kill. So now, continuing on here, you can understand how people came over and took over Africa. When you find a race of peaceful people, man, they got bananas, apples, and they build pyramids. Come on, it's like they're very peaceful people. And if there's a race of beings that are very warlike, it's easy to take over those beings that are so peaceful, because they're not in that mindset. They're all about Ubuntu and togetherness. And when you're coming in from the outside, you can be like, God damn, and penetrate that. And we're going to get into that when you talk about the CI agent within this particular movie. So now let's continue on here. Let's see. Let me see what a Killmonger at the particular museum. That scene is very important. And then what I wrote here next is that the death of his father is the call to adventure in the hero's journey. The moment he accepts the fact that he now has to become king, he meets certain guides that are assisting him in his journey. So all movies are based on this particular principle called the hero's journey, that the hero has to go through a specific journey of beginning, middle, and end. Call to adventure, trials, tribulations. He overcomes the tribulations and then he gets on top. That's all that is based on. Also, now the next important scene is when now, after he accepts his journey, there's that ceremony. And in that particular ceremony, there's very symbolic things that I want you to take note of. The first one is the stairs. Stairs always represent ascension, just like a ladder, Jacob's ladder in the Bible. It represents that ascension into a different state or into a higher state. Either you're going up or down in consciousness, down the spinal cord, which is the ladder of God, the ladder of lights. And then the next thing that I want you to be aware of is the circle that is there. And that circle is actually made up of red soil, which is just representative of the root chakra, which is the earth, which is foundation. So before you actually go into the higher, you have to be immersed within the earth, because the earth is what grounds you. And when you are grounded, is only then you can understand the true profound knowledge of who or what God is. Unkulunkulu, Mudimo, Yere, Obasom, God. Allah in its mighty. You have to be grounded or else you would lose your mind. So that red circle is representative of him connecting to the earth. You need to connect to the earth. Goddamn, you need to walk barefoot out here. You need to eat fruits, man. You need to eat all these healthy things. It's very symbolic things. So that soil represents that. And when they cover him with the soil, it represents the particular darkness that the soul is symbolically represented in all these biblical stories. Jesus had to go into the tomb for what? For 3 days. Jonah had to go into the womb of the fish for what? For 3 days. Paul was stricken blind for what? For 3 days. Come on, man. Can't you see that all these things are the same? If you don't believe me, let's look at it in a different way. Jesus was what? Jesus was in the desert fasting for what? For 40 days. Moses walked through the desert with the Israelites for what? For 40 years. You are in your mother's womb for what? For 40 weeks. Right? Let's take it back to the 3. You are in your mother's womb for what they call the 3 trimesters. You are in your mother's womb for what they call the 3 trimesters, which are the 3 days of Jesus in the particular tomb. Jonah in the womb, womb, all the same. Joseph, he was thrown by his brothers in a pit. A pit is what? It's dark in a pit. So that represents the darkness before enlightenment. And we're going to get into that when we talk about kinetic energy. Because for you to ascend into a higher state, you have to first of all go into a lower state. But let's continue on. So now, boom, boom. And the next thing that I want you to check out here there is the particular flower, which to me looked like the lotus flower. In ancient Egypt, there's this particular flower that they say that it grew from the mud. Because it grew from dirt, it represents the fact that even though you can come from bullshit, you could come from horrible things, you still have the potential to rise from that. So the flower grows from the mud, just like the rose grows from what? From thorns, bro. You know, the stem of a rose thingy, it has thorns on it, but the rose is beautiful. You can smell it, be like, but your hand could be bleeding because you could be touching on the thorn. You'd be like, hey, it smells so nice, but I'm bleeding. You know, so good can come from bad, and bad is not necessarily bad. Bad could just mean darkness or that which is unknown. So where does light come from? Doesn't light come from darkness? You can't get darkness from light, but you definitely can get light from darkness. Let's continue on. So now those are the particular things that I want you to notice in that scene. Those are very important. The stairs, the red circle, and the soil, and him being buried in that, and then the lotus flower. So boom, he's being immersed, and then he's going to get new information. Just like Simba, when he saw his father in the clouds, he's like, you said you'd always be there for me. He's like, nigga, man, I've prepared you for this. And when Chitala went to his father, he's like, come on, Dad, I'm not ready to be without you. He's like, every father has to prepare his son. You know, it's all the same things, as I said. It's all based on one storyline. It's all based on one thing. So now I'm trying to cover a lot in a short amount of time. I could do this for 3 hours and get into every detail, but I don't have time because I'm using my phone. I'm still trying to get a laptop. Thank you again to my people and to Jane, because like they are very amazing donations. I'm gonna be able to get that to make these videos even, you know, better. Let's continue on here. So now him being buried in the soil is symbolic. Okay, I already said this. New consciousness. Then he appears into his father. He's going there for guidance. Okay, we already said this. Blah, blah, blah. He's feeling guilty. You remember how Simba in The Lion King also felt guilty? Scar actually made him feel guilty. Like, you killed your father. That whole guilt trip. So this is just symbolic of the fact that you must get over the emotions of feeling guilt, doubt, fear, lust, the lower passions, the lower emotions. You must get over that by immersing yourself within the darkness and being buried within the silence of what we call stillness. And then from there on, can you only find the face of God, because the light only comes from the darkness. When you are still, it says, be still and know that I am what? I am God. And God is what? God is light. That's what this movie was pointing to there when he was going in, and then boom, he came out. Guess what happened when he came back from the ancestral realm? Boom, he came out, and what was the first thing that they said to him? They said, my king, what? Breathe. I made a video about Jesus being the breath. So the breath is the way to the Father, just like how Chitala in the movie went to his Father, which is higher consciousness, which is all within you. He didn't get in a spaceship to go travel somewhere else. They just buried him in soil. I don't care about vibranium and all that technology that they have. This movie was showing you African technology, and that technology is biological technology. It's your body. Your body is the technology. Don't tell me about a phone or a ring light or virtual reality or a car or a jet. That's nothing compared to what you are. God damn, your heart is beating. You don't even know how it's beating. Your hair is growing. Your nails are growing. Your stomach is processing food. That is the craziest, biggest technology ever. The greatest technology is biological. It is not tangible nor physical. African people never needed physical technology. Read Indaba My Children by Ubabu Credo Muntu. He tells you that African people knew certain information. They knew certain knowledge, but they didn't apply it or put it into practice because certain things were forbidden for you to practice them. Just because you knew how to make a tire didn't mean that you were supposed to make it. They had names for all these things, but there were certain things that African people, they knew, but they were not going to do them. This technology, we knew it. We had electricity back in the days. We had Nikola Tesla, all these things that these scientists are coming out with. Nikola Tesla was actually dope, man, because like he was like giving free energy. He wanted to give out free energy, man, you know. So we knew about this, but there's certain things that we did not practice because we understood that by practicing these very same things, it means that the earth would have to be now destroyed in looking for rubber, in looking for minerals, in looking for steel, for metals, and all these minerals that we need to make all these physical things, this physical technology. So the only technology we needed as virtual realities, virtual glasses, and whatever was our body. So right there, they were showing you biological technology. That to go to the ancestral realms, you did not need the Hubble Space Telescope to see Sirius or to go to a different star system. All you needed to do was close your eyes, baby, and then boom, you could project your consciousness. That scene was very important. You are very important because you are the technology. Tell me about iPhone. iPhone is releasing Apple. What? No, man. You are the greatest technology released. Billions, eons, time immemorial ago. The greatest technology was already there, and it was the black melanated body. 9 ether being. Able to tap into all realms of existence, physical, non-physical, tap into the hyperspace, go in and talk to plants and come back in the physical realm and make medicine from those very same plants that heal certain things. How do you think Africans knew that certain plants are deadly and certain plants are medicinal? They tapped into the inner technology. They will tell you. Let's continue on. God. My word. Don't do it, Mathix. Don't do it. I'm not going to do it. Let me finish. Oh, my God. Oh, let me... Oh. This is how you get when you walk around in a world with gods that have forgotten who they are, and they ask you to remind them. Hey, Tanu Kothra, like forgetting? Tanu Libala, Rato Libala. You like forgetting that you are great, that you are. So the next scene, it says, let me see what I wrote here. When he comes, they tell him to breathe. And then the next scene that's important, they're going to look for Claw, they have that whole meeting, and then the next part, he's in a lab with his sister, and this part is also very important. So his sister says to him when they're in the lab, he says that the entire suit sits within the teeth, excuse me, of the necklace. And right there, they letting you know that you were dealing with ether. With the element that we call ether, because it pertains to what we call the throat chakra. The four chakras below the throat chakra deal with the four elements of fire, earth, air, and water. Now, ether goes back to the movie that we call Thor. All these Marvel. I mean, come on, what is to marvel? Marvel. So all these people, they marveling at the genius of you people, of you. Tomb Raider, all these movies, man, like they are based on you African people. You just don't know it. And they are white people that are actually coming out with the truth. They're saying that, come on, man, like we can't maintain. Like why? Why is some white? Some white people don't even understand why this lie is trying to, why people are trying to keep this lie that white people, that black people are inferior and that they come from animals, when black people are actually the inventors of civilization itself. They are the proprietors. They are the architects. They are the ones they are the mothers and fathers. Let's leave it right there. White people are starting to come into this truth. Bless their soul. Bless our soul, because we are all one family. But then it's still going to get deep here, because there's still white people on the top class level that don't want black people to know who they are. They don't want you to know your history, because if you knew your history as black people, this whole system would shut down. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. 9 to 5s, all this, it would stop. So the sister says the entire necklace is encompassed within the necklace. That lets you know that you are dealing with ether, because ether is what gives birth to the four elements. And those four elements could have also been the four tribes that they spoke about in the beginning of the movie, that there were four tribes and then they came into the earth and they were at war with each other. You are at war with the elements. The elements are telling you what to do. Water, which is emotions, is telling you, I need to have sex. Earth, which is an element, is telling you, I gotta eat, bro. Air, which is an element, is telling you, I gotta think certain things. Fire, which is an element, is giving you passions for certain things. The tribes are at war, and they gotta be united by the meteorite intelligence, which is the higher intelligence, which is that purple that you see when he went into the ancestral realm, which is that ether, which is these higher chakras. Let's continue on. Guys, you need to study, man. You need to study. You gotta stop being lazy. You are lazy. You are a lazy race of beings. You are lazy. You'd rather sit for 10 hours watching a series back to back. There's nothing wrong. Watch one episode of a series. 2, 3, 4. 3, man. 2. And then research some other things. They say that in Africa that a day wasted without you having learned anything is a day. Like you didn't even have that day. Because you are lazy. You are lazy to meditate, and I will tell you why. I'm not blaming you. I'll tell you why you're lazy. You know why you're lazy? Because the truth is scary. It's horrible. When you look at what was done to black people in the past, in apartheid, sex farms, in slavery and apartheid, it's very scary information. But if you don't want to look at your past and you shun it away, you can never outgrow it. You can never grow from that, because just beyond this 400, 2,000 years, there is another billion years of greatness that is hidden by this. Let me see here. I hope I'm still recording. Let me just check. Alright, I'm still recording. I don't want to be dropping these gems only to find out that I'm not recording. I'd be so sad. Let me see. The suit absorbs kinetic energy and it holds it in place for distribution. That's what the sister says to the homie, to his brother in the lab. So now, right here, this lets you know that we are dealing with melanin, because kinetic energy is basically potential energy. They define kinetic energy as it's basically an energy of an object when it's moving from a state of rest into a state of motion. That's what kinetic energy is. What did I say? Did not. Hey, did not. Hey, it's Hoa. English don't run away from me. I own you. I created you. Kinetic energy is energy moving from an object from a state of rest, and when it's coming into a state of motion, just like what? Just like light came from darkness. That's kinetic energy. Melanin, all of this. That's why they call black people the parents of humanity, because the dark beings, the ones that they call inferior, they were actually superior. It's just that white supremacy would have it that those few white people that are unconscious and racist, they had this agenda to even influence the pure hearts of those particular beings that did not know. It's not all white people that are like assholes, bro. What? That's impossible. Just like not all black people are amazing. There's black people that are assholes and horrible. I'm like, but god damn, man, you're so horrible. You know, there were a few beings. It's the 1%. That's why they call them the 1%. Those 13 families, all these beings that are running the world, it's a 1%. It's not all white people that... I know some amazing... We're a family as humanity, but because we live in a dual universe, there will always be those. So now, when they were talking about here that... where was I? Let me not lose. That when they're talking about kinetic energy, they're talking about light coming from darkness. In all aspects of it, be it the cosmic or the physical. All the other races came from the parent race of black people. It's genetic, it's historical, it's right there. It's something that you can't deny. Melanin, that's what they are talking about here when they're talking about the kinetic energy. So now the next scene, the next important scene, they're in Korea, they're looking for Claw. And so now they're interrogating him, and then he tells them, he tells that particular gent, he's like, bruh, he tells that white agent, the CIA agent, he's like, bruh, these gents have got like a whole mountain of the shundies. You looking at my gun, bro, they got a whole mountain of this vibranium. They call it Isipo, the gift, because that's what it is. This vibranium, this gift, this melanin, this Merkaba, this intelligence, it is what allows you to tap into the Christ conscious cosmic energy that allows you to tap into things that are beyond the timeline that you are particularly existing in this particular place. You are not even here. You are in another dimension, projecting yourself to be in a physical state when you are not even here. You want a dream. You are a luminous being, seeing yourself as what you could have imagined yourself to be. We are all one part. We are all one consciousness. We are all one mirror that has shattered itself into many different fragments. We are in a holographic universe, projecting, protecting, selecting, activating itself. The whole is the one, and the one are the whole. It's the many that are the one. It's a paradox, but at the same time, it's the one. It's duality. That's what it is. That's what they are talking about here. This is what is going on. It's deep like that, but at the same time, we're just trying to keep it to Black Panther. I'm not trying to go that deep. Let's go on. The gift. That's what allows you to tap into the higher cosmic universe. The gift, the crown chakra. I think it was purple when he went to see his ancestors. It's the crown. We are able to connect to the crown, to the God, the crown of thorns. Jesus was crucified with what? With a crown of thorns. The crown of thorns is actually the corona. It's the energy of the sun. The rays of the sun are the crowns of thorns, which is the halo. When you say hello, you are actually saying halo, which means that, yo, I see the light in you. Come on, man. Africans were deep with this. Y'all don't know this. The other umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu, which is Zulu for saying that a person is, let me see, umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu. So I am because you are. I don't want to try and drag it for long. I am because you are. Because of you, I am. That's what it is. I am because you are. Umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu. So hello, halo. It just means, hey, I recognize the halo within you. Let's continue on. So Long story short, they escape, and Killmonger kills Claw. That whole thing happens. Um, okay, boom, boom, boom. I already said that. Uh, da 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 da. I want to go to the most important things because I'm running out of time. Um, okay, so then I'm gonna skip the whole Claw killing Killmonger killing Claw. I'm gonna jump to the part where Killmonger is in Wakanda right now, and he's challenging Chitala, and that is basically symbolic of the fact that the hero has to be challenged, and he has to lose the kingdom. This is all over biblical stories. The prodigal son, which is the example that Jesus gave. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. They just not now. I'm busy, guys. I'm busy. Don't come through now. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. I got you. Relax. So the king has to be challenged within his own journey. And he has to go through the fall. You have to go through apartheid. You have to go through slavery. You can't all be building pyramids for billions of years. You must experience something that is different, because that allows for there to be alchemy. For you to know what you had, sometimes you have to lose it. You never know what you had till it's gone. And well, you had pyramids. You had interdimensional travel abilities. You had all of these amazing things. And now that you lost them, you could be like, God damn, look at what I had. That's what it was about. There were prophets and seers in Africa that knew that this was coming, and it had to happen. I'm sorry, Africans. I'm sorry. I know it's sad and it's painful, but this had to happen because we made it happen. We made it happen. It's not that we didn't know. We were like, yo, the next 2,000 years are gonna be rough, hey. They're gonna take us. You boys, boss they're gonna kill us, they're gonna kill our babies and like stomp us like grapes, and like they're gonna behead us, they're gonna rape us, they're gonna indoctrinate. We're like, how long is this gonna be, priests? Nah, guys, it's just not long, just 2,000 years. Yeah, 2,000 years of what? It's just a little bit of mind control, a little bit of programming, a little bit of torture, slavery there, apartheid there, just a little bit of black people are animals, just a little bit of lies, just a little bit of races stealing everything that you have ever come up with and claiming it as their own. Just a little bit of people stealing your things and putting it in their museum. Just 2,000 years. Please, guys, this must happen. Why? Alchemy, because God must transform. You were great for 3 trillions of years. We need to ascend, and we need to die and be buried like the phoenix grows from the ashes. This has to happen. Will we ever come out of it? We will. When? 2012. 2012 is gonna mark the end of an old paradigm and the beginning of a new one. Some of you caught what I was saying right now, but some of you, I hope it doesn't go over your head. That was very important. The king is challenged. That's us. We the king. We are Chitala. We are challenged. All this that we are going through. We gotta get a 9 to 5. That's us fighting Umbaku. That's the challenges. So now the warriors found the former king, so represents the call, blah blah blah. Where was I here? Okay, so now that homie gets challenged by Killmonger, and then that's basically the challenge that every hero has to go through. So he goes through that. You need to go through the darkness to come out of the light again. Just like how he was buried, met his father. So now the warriors, they found the particular homie, and then they were like, yeah, he was here, we found him in the river, the fisherman. And this scene is important because now it's like the king resurrecting, because the next scene, the snow where they found him at, that represents death. It represents winter. Winter is coming. That's what that represents. So you can even see him as they have him. They have him portraying the particular Messiah archetype. They have him as that Jesus archetype, as that Horus archetype, when he's wearing that particular blanket, and he's resurrected. He came from what? From death. He was half dead. He was half dead, and he came from that. He resurrected again, because life is a series of death and life. You die every time you go to sleep. That's why they call sleep the sister of death. You guys. Ooh, you guys don't know. You guys don't know how amazing you are. You look at me using these accents. Oh, Jingu, ask me who I am. Ungubani. Jingu Chitala. Nyaniga. They killed me when they did those. Jingu Chitala. Nyaniga. Okadashukuvuga. I was like, what? No, guys, that's not how we say it here in South Africa, But it was very cool. It was cool. Big up Michael B. Jordan for trying. Rest in peace, brother, man. Rest in peace, man. What a legend. That Chitala. Chadwick. I think it's Chadwick. I don't want to get his name wrong. But rest in peace to the brother, man. Brother in the diaspora. So now, the last scene that I want to talk about, which is very important, is the scene where they fight. All of that happens, and then now they there, and then this homie basically takes Killmonger to the scene to see all of that, and he says, we can still help you. And he's like, nah, why? He's like, bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped off the ships, because they knew that death was way better than bondage. Right there. They knew that death was better than bondage. We think we are free right now, but we are still in bondage, in mental slavery, and we are mentally enslaved. They did not only take the land. The greatest thing that they took was your mind. And in the movie Black Panther, it's so dynamic, as I said, that I wish I had more time to I could break things down in a longer way, but I will, man. Shout outs to all my friends. Shout out to my queen, Onela Shema, Sibumana, Indy, haha, Wave Goddess. Shout out to my queen. I wouldn't be the person who I am without my queen, man. Like, I need that balance, Chitala, he had actually, speaking about my queen, the last scene, they actually show this lady. She's got these locks, and behind her are the Ndebele prince. And those locks, actually the locks of the Buddha. You know how the Buddha has locks, but he's like supposed to be in Asia? That shows you that even, the Asians, or what they call the Buddhists, they were black people. Because who else, which other race of beings has, that the locks within the hair, the knots? So shout outs to my friends. Shout outs to Collective Transcendence, man. Like, y'all are gonna know about Collective Transcendence soon. You're gonna know about a lot of things. There's a lot of things that I'm keeping secret that I'm gonna bring forth. But what I want to conclude this video with is that you are Wakanda. Wakanda is here. Just like how Africa is here. It's all a state of mind, and it's all about your body. You are the Black Panther. You are that suit. You are that kinetic energy, that melanin, that you are that darkness. You are that potential that is ready to spark and become enlightened. You are that one eye of the Christ, but then you need to understand that there's beings that are plotting to keep you asleep. And I want to talk about that CIA agent before I end this video. Now, that CIA agent, cover number one, this is what happened to Africa. There were spies that were sent to Africa before Africa was colonized, and they studied tribes, they studied how we were, our technology, just like how they sent that. bro, as I said, that the villain is not always the villain. When they sent that Asian, I forgot his name, that white dude to Wakanda, the other lady, the black lady, she said, "Oh, we are megas up. It is his duty to report back to the States what it is that he learned here." And that's what happened to Africa. They sent spies and, people to look, and they reported back, yo, these people have gold, these people have diamonds, they have copper, they have ore, they have tar. My goodness, they have everything. They have intelligence, they have magic. And they reported back. They're like, how can we get that? So that was also showing you, the enemy. I'm not just saying the enemy is white people. No, the mindset, as African is a mindset, white people are a mindset as well, because there are white people who are black and there are black people who are white. It's a mindset. The mindset of divide and conquer, and we gotta kill this race of beings. And no, we could just associate that with that CIA agent. That lady wasn't fucking around, where she's like, yo, this nigga gotta report back. So you as Africans, you need to be careful. You need to be careful, because it's not that everybody hates you, but at the same time, don't think that everybody loves you. Don't think that everybody loves you, because sometimes people want what you have because they may not necessarily have it. When that agent came there, he saw the technology, and that technology was more spiritual than it was physical. When they fixed him, when his spine, he's like, is this magic? And he's like, no, it's technology. It's in a biological technology. But then he was going to report back, because that's what he was assigned to. And that's what happened to us in the past. That's how they took over. So you need to be careful. I was talking to my friend the other day, Plamidi. He's in Canada. He's one of the brothers in the diaspora. We call it the diaspora, just like us being in different places or amongst the world. And he was telling me that, bro, it's not that just like white people were on slavery. There were other races too, bro. So at the end of the day, as black people, all we really have is ourselves. And not that we're excluding everybody else, Indians, because we're all one family. But what he meant was that all we have is ourselves as black people, is that we first have to just gather as ourselves and sit down and be like, you, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? And have no other race there with us. We need to discuss this on ourselves. One, and just be like, that was very painful. That was very scary. And cry and hug each other and just be shocked at the trauma that we've been through, because it's this what? That's all we have is ourselves. Thank you, Plamidi, for saying that. Just hold each other and love each other, and from there on we can heal, because we all one family. Indians, Asians, white people, Caucasians, Mexicans, we are all one beings. Just, it's like body suits. We are not even our bodies. We are the soul inside the body. So family, that's where I'm going to end this video. I don't even know. I think it's probably an hour right now. Like, as I said, I wish I had more time, because I was skipping through scenes, but you are Wakanda. You are Black Panther. Black Panther is a state of mind. There was a movement in the Americas of what they call the Black Panthers. Research the Black Panthers. They were fighting for civil rights, rights of black people. But all of this is inside. The suit is you. You are that suit. You are that melanated one. You are that intelligence. You are that ether that they speak about in Thor 2. When that villain said to that white lady, he's like, what you have inside of you does not belong to you. He's like, yeah, this world was not even supposed to be. As I said, study Gnosticism. You need to study all these things. I wish I had more time. I will in the future. I'm going to do amazing things for you. I'm going to travel to these places and actually show you what I'm talking about. And I wish that some of you are going to come with me, because we need to start opening up this truth and seeing it for ourselves. So big up, family. That's my decoding of the movie Black Panther. We would get into detail of other things, but when you watch the movie, focus on Killmonger and listen to what he was saying, because the villain is not always the villain. Sometimes the villain is saying dope things. Don't look at the fact that he was like, choking that black lady. Like, oh my God, don't choke your black ladies, gents. Like, that's God right there. You can't choke God. It's like, I'll kill you if you don't do what I say. You know, him shooting his girlfriend. They're just disguising that in that fact. But like, listen rather to what he's saying when he's like, yo, man, there's millions of other black people that are suffering, and you here, you know, with all this gold, with all this knowledge, with all this vibranium, with all this internal power, and there's other people around you in the world that are suffering just like you. So share that little bit of love, share that little bit of knowledge, share that little bit of kindness, share that little bit of here, you know, care for the kids, for the older people. You know, it's technology is not physical, it's internal, and our love is technology. So this movie Black Panther, it was due. You have to really look at it in two ways. If you have questions about it, email me and ask me, do I wanna no, don't. I changed my mind. Don't email me. Don't email me. No, watch it and decode it for yourselves. But no, don't email me. As I said, all of this, you know it. But then, like, let's continue walking this journey together, family. Thank you so much, man. The feather upon you. The feather of my art, peace, love, and light. You remember when we used to think that this was Illuminati? When's the triangle? Oh, Rihanna's Illuminati. Nah, man. Come on. I laugh at myself when I think that I used to think that this was evil back in the day. Damn, a lack of knowledge. Woo, my people suffer. But thank you, family. Peace out. Love and light to you all. It's a Thursday. Tomorrow here in South Africa, it's Heritage Day. It's a Thursday as I'm recording this, but I'm going to post this video on a Friday. So peace, love, and light to you all. Thank you so much for reincarnating. Y'all are beautiful souls. And bye, yo. Y'all are bahle. How? And tanuba bahle. Yo, no, and tanuba beautiful. What a beautiful race of beings. Thank you all. Yo, we're gonna get into another decode. I don't know what movie I'm gonna decode next, but you can like just bam. You know, some movies maybe that you suggest I might not know. Hit me up on Twitter. Hey, decode this. You know, like if you feel like the movie is deep and esoteric, I could like watch it and then I'll decode it. But then otherwise, family, peace, love, and light to you all. Yantan, well done. You got the vibranium. Ego. Don't give the vibranium to the children. They are not ready for such power. I don't want to laugh. That was not the laugh. I'm just giggling. Yeah, that's kind of how it sounded when they did those accents. I'm like, guys, come on, man. We, the tribe of Akunaka, will not be challenging today. I'm like, we don't speak like that. Come on, man. Peace, love, and light, family. I love you all. Love is the key. Love is gonna conquer all. Wakanda forever. Love forever. Peace.